Welcome back, everyone. This is Sharon. I am coming to you today. We're going to talk about some of the key principles of personal success. And I have a lot of them, so I wrote them down because, my brain won't keep all that information in there, you know what I'm saying. So, one thing we want to talk about is success and what is a job and what is work. You may think it's the same thing, right? But it's not. A job is an opportunity offered to you by a person or a company. Work is the gift that God placed inside you, the mission that He placed inside you to do while you're here on earth. And a job lasts only as long as the person or company that offered it to you allows it to. They can recall that opportunity at any minute and you find yourself without employment. A work is different. It cannot be taken away from you. It was given to you by God, and no one can take it away from you. God would not even take it away from you. The gifts that He put inside you are permanent. He do not revoke them. He does not take them back. Even when you don't fulfill those purposes or work towards those purposes, He will not take them away from you. They will still be inside you. That's why they lots of people in the cemetery today that died and took their gifts and their talents with them. They did nothing to make them happen. They did nothing to carry out the goal and the job that God placed inside them. So they took it to the grave with them. And each day we're doing the same thing. If we don't cultivate those gifts and those talents, we're going to end up taking them to the grave with us. And I know that may be confusing to some people because they're like, well, what are the gifts and talents that I have inside of me? The gifts and talents inside of you are those things that you just love doing and that you're good at doing and that people compliment you on doing. That says you like to cook and you can come up with recipes just out of the top of your head that no one else thought about, and you're like, what? How did you figure that out? Or you may have a little twist on something that no one else has been able to do. And though that, my friend, is a God-given talent that was given to you. Maybe you're able to teach children and keep them engaged in what you're saying and what you're doing. And other people try to teach and the kids fall asleep on them or they out daydreaming and they don't hear anything they're saying. But you have this ability to engage people, to draw them in and make them interested in what you're saying. That's your job. That's the goal. That's the gift that God puts inside of you. He gave you the ability to teach and to reach others. Or maybe your job is to write books. And you can come up with stuff like, where do you get that from? No, you're good at writing down your thoughts. You're good at researching. You're good at putting sentences together. You're good at telling a story. That's your gift. Or maybe you have this organization skill. You're able to make sense out of things. You're able to put things in order in a way that people can find them and use them. And nobody else can do that. You have the ability to manage your office and you make everything run so smoothly, and no one else can do that. It seems like you make it look so easy to do those things that other people have difficulty doing. That's your talent, that's your gift. Or maybe it's your gift to work on cars. You can work on cars. You know all about the parts. You know how to put them together. You know how they run. And, nobody else can do that. That's your gift. I mean, those are the things that you can do that you're good at that other people have trouble doing. Those are your gifts and your talents. And that's how you find out what they are. Just take time, spend some time with yourself. Turn off that radio, turn off that phone, turn off that TV, and just sit back. So, what are some of the things that I'm good at? What can I do that I like doing? I don't consider it work. I just like doing it. That's your gift. Okay. Now that we got that straightened out, um, all jobs are not your work, but you can turn your work into a job. You can take what you're good at and turn it into a job. And if you um, have a job during the day, I said you work from 8 to 5, or no, whatever shift you work on. Maybe you work second shift, go from 4 to 12, but maybe you work third shift, go from what 12 to 8. Whatever shift you on, you go do your job, and as soon as your shift is over, that's when your work's supposed to begin. That's when you're supposed to, if you get off we're just gonna say 8 to 5. You get off at 5 o'clock. That your job ends at 5, but your work begins at 5. That means you are working, you are researching, you are doing everything you can to bring your work, try to manifest your work, to make it come to pass. Now, a lot of people, they get off from work and they go home and they kick off their shoes. They just plop down in front of the TV, and there they sit until time to go to bed, to get up and do their job. And they did nothing to cultivate their work. Let's say, let's go back to the fact that maybe you're a mechanic. If you are a mechanic, something you can do to manifest that, every time you get paid, buy some tools. Some tools that you know that you would need in order you know, to work on your job. And I don't know much about tools. I don't know what you call them, but whatever tools that you need to work on a car, every week, every week, you should buy something. And I always look for a sale, and go to pawn shop. People pawn their tools and equipment, and they never come back and get them. So you don't have to pay a whole lot of money for them if you just scour pawn shops and buy something that you need. Don't buy junk, but buy the tools that you know that you will need eventually, whether you're working on cars right now or not as your profession. Buy those things that you need. Or maybe you want to be a chef. Buy what you need to make your job more proficient. Um, Buy the material that you need, and the things you need. Your bowls, your instruments that you need, whatever it is that you need to make yourself uh, more profitable. Maybe you like to decorate cakes. Learn as much as you can about decorating cakes. Get all the equipment that you need in order to decorate those cakes. And you can start when you get out from work, just start practicing making those cakes. Make those cakes and let other people taste them and see what they think about them. And you can always sell those cakes and cupcakes and brownies, whatever you sell, and you can always open up an online business and start selling those things online. You get somebody to make a professional website for you. So it'll be inviting. People want to come. People want to order your food. You can do that. And there's some places where you can have a pop-up restaurant. You can uh, reserve the space for a week or two and try out some of your creations on people. Go out on the street and let people try your products. So, always do something. If you like teaching children, go out and find teaching material. Find things that you would need in order to engage your students. Find those things and research about the human brain and how it works. Because it's all about reaching that person's potential that's inside them. Read about the human brain, how to make it work, how to speak. No, maybe you want to be a motivational speaker, something like that. Practice speaking. You don't even need an audience to do that. When you come home, go to a quiet place and research the information that you want to speak on and speak to yourself. Just sit there and talk. Talk, talk, and talk. You don't need anybody in the room with you to talk with them. Keep going over material. Practice that material until it gets inside of you. When it can be one, where it becomes one with you. And you feel confident speaking. And then what you can do is videotape yourself speaking. So you can play it back and hear yourself speaking so you can make corrections or fix things that you don't like about what you're saying or your tone or whatever it is. Always spend that time, free time, working on your gift. Never just come home and plop down in front of the TV with a bowl of chips and just sit there. No. And then once you become good at the work that God puts inside of you, then you can make it into a job. That's why I said your work can become your job. If that makes sense to anyone, let your work become your job. Then it won't be like a job, something that you just hate doing, because you are doing what you love to do. Just like I've had experience in my career as a counselor. And I love doing that. I love helping people. I love trying to help them make sense out of the things that has gone wrong in their lives. And a lot of times it's so simple that they can't see it. And when you help them, when you help them dig deep within themselves, they come up with the answers themselves. It's not all the time about you coming up with the answers. You help them come up with the answers themselves. And I love that. I loved it. A lot of people I work with complain and grumble and whine and moan. That's because they were doing a job that they weren't equipped to do by God. That's why they couldn't get it together. That's why they didn't like it. That's why they always complained. I didn't complain because I liked it. I like doing work like that. What else can we change? When change come along, if you are not prepared, if you had cultivated your gifts, if you're not doing anything to improve yourself and develop yourself, when change come along, it can be devastating. It can be devastating because you have all your eggs in one basket. You completely dependent upon that job that you have. You have done nothing else. You have not developed any other area in your life. You have no skills. You have no connections. You have nothing. And when change come around and you lose your job, I said you lose your job, and your job that you were doing is no longer relevant, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? A lot of times, um, technology is taking over a lot of jobs these days. Job that you've done in the past, technology is taking over. Like, example, if you are a seamstress and you work in a plant where you make clothes, they have machines now. There are machines that can, you program it, it would cut out the pattern and it will sew those things itself. The machine will. So, that eliminates a person. That eliminates a job. And if that's all you know, then what are you going to do? Where else are you going to go? So that's why you should always, always, always be learning and growing and learning something new. It doesn't cost a lot to read a book. It doesn't take a lot to go volunteer for free. If you go somewhere, something that you like doing now, go and ask them, can you just volunteer for free? If you can just shadow a person for free. A lot of people be glad to bring on somebody for free because they need help, and a lot of times they don't have the money to pay for an extra person. And then if you go there talking about, can I do something free, they would love to take you on. And a lot of times when we lose a job, I don't know if you've heard people say that they lose a job and they want to find another job that's comparable or even more than what they had, and they feel like taking a lesser job is beneath them. I mean, you think, okay, let's say you had a job, you were making pretty good money, and you lost your job, and you're having trouble finding another. And then a job comes open, let's say paying $10 an hour, and may require a little manual labor. And you're thinking, this job is below me. I'm not going to take this. No, no, no. Hey, take the job. You're not planning on being there forever. Your job pays your bills, and you have to have money in this world to live. So you take the job, use that job as a stepping stone. Use that job to pay bills while you learn to cultivate your gifts. Do not ever be to the point where you think you're too good to take something that that is you consider below you. Nothing is below you. When you have a family and they need to eat and they need a roof over their head, nothing is beneath you. If it's bringing money in, you take it. If it requires you to work overtime to make more money, you work overtime. You do whatever you have to do in order to support yourself and your family. And do you know that success and failure is predictable. Do you know that? It is. And you may think, what what are you talking about? How can if I can predict failure, then I wouldn't do it. And how is it predictable? Well, there's certain principles that you must follow in order to be successful. And if you follow those principles and do what you need to do, you're going to be successful at it. And if you don't, you're going to fail. And let's get one thing straight about uh, being successful. Successful is not the amount of money you have in your bank account. That's not being successful. Successful is finding your goal, finding your mission, and fulfilling that goal and that commission, and you becoming good at it. Then you are successful when you become good at what it was that God gave you to do. And your job is to empty yourself out. Do that job until you have reached the pinnacle of it. Don't just be satisfied with good, because good is the enemy of better, and better is the enemy of best. Be the best person you can possibly be. The best. Then at the end of your life, you will not have a bunch of regrets. If you do what you love that's inside of you, at the end of your life, you will not have regrets, because you will have been successful at what it is that God gave you to do. It's just as simple as that. I mean, be the best. Don't settle for nothing less than the best. And we're able to do that. We have the ability to be the best we can be if we put forth the time and the effort in doing it. Right? Instead of chasing money, don't chase money. Don't chase money. If we fulfill our destiny that God has inside of us, then money will come to us. And our gifts and our talents, once we become proficient at it, it will put us in front of important people that can help us be even better at what we do. Another example: if you like to cook and you can come up with recipes, write a cookbook. I know there are millions of cookbook out. Excuse me. There are millions of cookbooks out there, but be the best. Write down your recipes. Exhibit your recipes. Let people try your recipes. And in your word of mouth. I mean, have a website, get online, sell your books online. Whew, a lot of information. And something else. When you have cultivated and working on the gift that's inside of you, there's no way you can become a victim to the economy. Your gifts and your talents will not allow you to be a victim of the economy. The economy has no effect on your gifts. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can be in a third world country. You can be anywhere. Your work No matter where you are in the world, you don't have to come to the U.S. to be successful. You don't need to go to Europe to be successful. Your gifts and your talents will make room for you and grow and flourish no matter where you are in the world. You don't think there are people in the third world countries that's not successful? They show you all the poverty in those third world countries, but they do not show you the people that are successful in those countries. And trust me, there are some people that are successful in those third world countries. Everybody is not on the bottom dragging. And I know you may think they are, but they're not. Just like anywhere you go, there are people that's flourishing. And no matter what kind of society they are. And just like when in the Depression, the Great Depression here in the United States, everybody was not suffering. People were still working. There was people still working, still people flourishing, still people that didn't lose their homes. There were people who had food to eat. Everybody was not poor. Everybody was not standing in line, in the food line, in the unemployment line. Everybody was not. And those people that was in those in the lines, a lot of them was people that put their trust in a job that they had. And when the bottom fell out of the economy, their jobs went with them. And they were left with nothing. They had no savings. They didn't own anything. They didn't work on their skills. They didn't work on, they just got up, went to work every day, came home, ate dinner, watched TV, and went to bed. And they did that over and over and over again without ever doing anything to work on themselves and to develop their families. And I know, you know, you may be thinking, I don't have time. We have to, everybody have 24 hours a day. Everybody have the same time. Yes, time is a luxury and everybody has the same amount of time. And some people take advantage of that time and some people don't. Which are you? Which are you? Like a musician, they practice on their instruments hours and hours at a time. Or maybe these bodybuilders, they work out in the gym 4 and 5 hours a day, 7 days a week. Or maybe it's, you like to play basketball or whatever sports. You practice, practice, practice. Every day you practice. Come on, you have time. If you have time to sit on that sofa in front of that TV, then that's time that you are wasting. That's time you can be studying, time that you can be doing something productive. Don't ever lie and say you don't have the time, because you do. Everybody have 24 hours a day, so you have the same amount of time as everybody else. And why can everybody else fulfill their goals and their dreams and you can't? You can. It's called motivation, being motivated, being disciplined. You got to discipline yourself. You got to put yourself on a routine. You gotta make yourself do those things. I mean, it's so much easier just to go home and plop down and do nothing. It is. Especially after you worked all day. You're tired. I know. I know. But you got to drag yourself up off of that sofa and do something. I mean, there's so much information on the internet. You don't even have to leave your home to know to read books and to find out this and find out that. You can even order all the supplies and everything you need online. You don't even have to go down to the store, the corner store no more. Everything can be done from your computer at home or your phone. If you don't have a computer, no excuse. You have a phone. Majority of people have a phone, and that phone will do the same thing as that computer will do. So while you plop down there on that sofa, take out that phone and you open up the internet and you start learning something. Put some information in your head. Learn something. Learn. There's no excuse. Well, I think that's about all I have for you today. And I hope I said something worthwhile. I hope I said something to make you think. And if you like this kind of content, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Share it with others. Share it. And subscribe to it. I mean, what do you got to lose? Subscribe to it. Might learn something. And leave a comment. One way or the other, leave a comment whether you think what I'm saying is this crap or whether you like it. Whatever, leave a comment for me. I appreciate any comments because I love feedback. I don't run for feedback. I don't hide from feedback. I want feedback because feedback is my friend. Feedback shows me what I'm doing wrong so I can change directions if I'm headed in the wrong direction. I don't take it personal. Don't think if you leave a bad comment, it's gonna hurt me. I'm gonna say, woe is me, woe is me. No. I'm gonna say thank you. Thank you for pointing out the error of my ways so I won't waste time going the wrong way. So leave a comment. Help me out. And until next time, be blessed.